A significant shift in international diplomacy is to be seen at the upcoming United Nations General Assembly meet, as several countries announced their intention to recognize a Palestinian state ahead of the meeting. The UK and Portugal are set to announce the recognition of a Palestinian state, while other Western powers like France, Canada, Belgium, and Australia will also move ahead with similar plans. The ongoing Gaza conflict has led to a worsening humanitarian crisis, with famine and aid blockades worsening the conditions. Calls for Palestinian statehood have intensified, and the two-state solution remains top topic. Other key issues which will dominate the discussions at UNGA will be the continuation of Ukraine and Russia's war, as President Zelensky seeks more global support, and Iran's nuclear program. The leaders and diplomats will also focus on Syria's post-war reconstruction, climate action, and women's rights are also in the spotlight, along with the Sudan conflict and growing tensions between Venezuela and the U.S. Now, for this discussion, we are joined by Mohammed Osman. He's an international relations specialist, joins us live from Cairo. Thank you very much, Mohammed, for joining us today. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, how might this growing international recognition of Palestinian state influence the geopolitical dynamics at the upcoming UNGA?
Thank you for having me, Shuma. Greetings to you and to your honorable guest, your dear audience. I think that the expanded recognition of the Palestinian statehood in the upcoming UN General Assembly summit will basically serve to be a huge moral boost to the Palestinian cause. It has great symbolic value. It will give more weight to the moral argument for a Palestinian state, and also to the legal rights of the legality and the legal legitimacy of the Palestinian cause and Palestinian rights in general, as the two-state solution has been the solution that has been accredited and approved by the international community at large, and has been codified in international law with a multitude of UN resolutions and also international agreements, including the Oslo Accords, for example. So, of course, this comes as a continuation of global efforts to enhance and further Palestinian rights in the midst of an onslaught on Palestine at this moment, as for the first time since 1948, the Palestinians themselves, and not only the Palestinian cause, the physical existence of the Palestinians themselves and their occupied Palestinian territories is in jeopardy, with Israel committing genocide and ethnic cleansing in the Gaza Strip, and even engaging in more and more slow ethnic cleansing in the West Bank, with the ultimate aim being the announced aim of the current Israeli government, or at least the far-right members of this governing coalition, is the displacement of the Palestinians out of what remains of their ancestral lands. 22% of historical Palestine is what is now Palestine, which is basically the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. So even that, Israel wants to deny the Palestinians the right to exist and establish their state even though we have been in a very long peace process that has started arguably in 1991, which means we've been in this predicament for the past over 30 years, and yet it has yielded no meaningful results due to Israel's arrogance and the reluctance to engage in any real peace negotiations. So right now, as things stand, about a dozen countries are expected to recognize Palestine in the upcoming UN summit, chief among them, of course, the United Kingdom, France, Canada, Australia, and other prominent Western countries, which, of course, is a breakthrough for Palestinian recognition. This could increase the amount of countries that recognize Palestine to about almost 160 countries, which is basically the vast majority of the world. As of now, only about 147 countries recognize Palestine. However, these measures are not sufficient. These major Western powers, namely European powers, have to take action against the Israelis, namely imposing sanctions, if they wish to actually pressure Israel to stop what it's doing in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, to stop the annexation train in its tracks, since Israel is now threatening to annex the West Bank in response to the recognition, and also to stop the genocide in Gaza. And Israel can basically act with impunity and can bear the consequences, or bears no consequences of its actions due to the unlimited support it has from the United States. So to counterbalance that, the European Union, which is one of Israel's largest trade partners, needs to take action and needs to impose sanctions. Recognition is not enough.
Right. And what do you think, Mohammed, do you think there can be any changes that can be made while Palestine is going to attend only online since their visas was rejected or revoked?
You see, we have seen a very sad precedent that is happening in this session of the UN General Assembly. Since the foundation of the United Nations in 1945, never once was a state delegation, denied the right to attend the functions of the UN General Assembly summit. This is something that is unprecedented. The United States has violated the Headquarters Treaty of 1947. It ratified with the United Nations, which basically obligates the United States to grant visas and facilitate the entry of delegations that will attend the functions and the events of the United Nations. And as you know, Asuma, Palestine is an observer state in the United Nations, so it has a legal status in the UN. Also, Palestine is a member state of several specialized UN agencies, like UNICEF, for example. And also, they are a member of the International Criminal Court and the Arab League and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So it's quite baffling that the Americans are taking such arbitrary actions against the Palestinian delegation, denying the Palestinian president and his accompanying delegation and Palestinian officials, including the foreign minister, the right to attend the UN summit, and preventing them from entering the United States. This brings into question the status of the United States as a law-abiding state. Apparently, they do violate international law on every venue, not only on this one. And also, it brings into question their status as a supposed mediator between the Israelis and the Palestinians and the key guarantor of the peace process, or so they style themselves in the Palestine-Israel conflict. So far, they haven't been impartial. They have been completely biased to the Israelis, and now they are going as far as to prevent the Palestinian president and his delegation from attending the UN summit. And he will give his speech virtually through video, which is rather pathetic. This scene will be a testament of the failure and the inability of the UN system to protect itself, and in the inability of international law to impose its will. Now international law and the international institutions and the United Nations itself, which is the embodiment of international law and the society of an international community that is supposedly governed by laws, now it embodies the complete destruction of this world order, supposed world order that we will repeatedly told is the true state of affairs.
Right. Thank you very much, Mohammed, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we stay